Welcome to our Oilfield Basics series at TJ Cross Engineers Incorporated. Today we will be discussing oil and water cleaning plants and their processes. Oil and water cleaning plants are designed to separate and process raw oil field production into sales oil and filtered produced water for softening, water disposal, or injection. Oil produced from various fields is a mixture of oil, water, and gas. The oil can range from 1% to 99%. An oil plant is used to separate the oil from water and gas. Oil separation is a function of the gravity or weight of the oil. Heavy oil, such as that found in Cat Canyon or Midway Sunset fields, ranges from 8 to 14 degree API gravity. Oil produced in Lost Hills has medium gravity of 20 API, while some fields such as Blackwell's Corner produces very light oil of 44 API. Likewise, produced water from the wells can range from 99% down to 1% of the total fluid volume. The hardness of the produced water is the primary factor that must be contended with. Hardness is measured by the parts per million of total dissolved solids, or TDS. Fresh water has a low TDS of 1,000 parts per million or less. Brackish water is usually found in Midway Sunset fields with a range of 3,000 to 10,000 parts per million TDS. Very salty water, or brine, is commonly produced in Lost Hills, with a total dissolved solids of 10,000 to 25,000 parts per million. Produced gas is measured in standard cubic feet. Gas that is produced along with crude oil is known as associated gas. Produced gas volumes also vary in range in our fields. Fields in Midway Sunset are fairly dry, while Lost Hills and Blackwell's Corner fields have relatively high gas content. The purpose of oil and water cleaning facilities is threefold. First, we will separate the gas from the production to produce liquid-free gas that can be used for fuel or sales. Secondly, the plant will separate oil for sales to a pipeline or truck for further processing at a refinery. Sales quality oil must typically have less than 3% basic sediment and water, or BS&W, before a pipeline or trucking company will accept sales delivery. Lastly, the produced water must be treated to remove the suspended oil and solids to less than 1 part per million. Produced water can then be further processed for softening, disposal, or injection. The first step in our oil plant is to separate gas and liquid. A vessel or tank is sized based on Stokes' law, which defines the minimum retention time to separate the gas from liquids. Stokes' law calculates a vessel or tank diameter such that the rising gas velocity is lower than the falling liquid droplet velocity. The falling droplets of oil and water drop to the bottom of the vessel, while the produced gas rises to the top. The produced gas is further dehydrated at a gas plant for fuel or sales. Next, we will need to separate the liquid into free water and emulsion in a two-step process. In the first step, we will separate the free water from the emulsion in a free water knockout. Free water are the droplets that can fall out of the production stream due to gravity. Emulsion is a mixture of tightly mixed oil and water. In the second step, we will separate the emulsion into oil and water using a wash tank or heater treater. The free water knockout and heater treater vessels are sized based on oil viscosity and temperature using this API chart. Free water can either be separated using a tank or vessel, depending on the inlet properties of the production. Lighter oil can usually be separated using an atmospheric pressure, while medium and heavier oils require a pressurized vessel and sometimes additional heat. In either case, the tank or vessel have internals to aid in further separation. The water drops to the bottom and is sent to a surge tank. The emulsion is skimmed and sent to a wash tank or heater treater for further treatment. The emulsion is then separated into oil and gas in either a wash tank or heater treater vessel. If the emulsion is fairly tight, then separation may require additional heat and pressure in a heater treater to break the emulsion. After heating, the emulsion is then allowed to separate in a second area of the vessel where the water is drained from the bottom and the sales oil is skimmed off the top of the emulsion. The oil from the heater treater or wash tank is stored in a sales tank. The oil is measured by a lease automatic custody transfer, or a LACT, and delivered to a pipeline or truck for sales. If the oil does not meet sales quality requirements, the LACT rejects the oil to a reject tank for further processing. The produced water from the free water knockout and heater treater is sent to a surge tank. Any remaining oil in the water floats to the top and is skimmed. These oil skimmings are sent to a skim tank. The water is then pumped to a water flotation cell. The produced water is now de-oiled in an induced static flotation unit. Flotation cells are used to introduce gas bubbles into the water. As the bubbles rise, any residual oil collects onto these bubbles and separate from the water. The oil is skimmed and sent to a skim tank. The water is now ready to be filtered. The last step is filtration. The produced water is collected in a filter feed tank and pumped through a nutshell filter to remove solids. The filters are backwashed to remove the solids. The filtered water is now ready to be either softened or deionized for steam generation, disposal, or injection. The various skimmings are collected in a skim tank. They may be recycled to the front of the plant and treated in the free water knockout, or may be batch treated by a different process. Water and skim oil from the backwash are typically treated in a cone bottom tank where the solids settle out. Water and oil are recycled to the plant and the solids are removed for disposal. This concludes the major principles of water and oil cleaning plants. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact our process group for additional assistance.